Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
The whole course of the game, and a lot of this had to do with, I felt like, a Doom being able to be very, very prevalent, had a big impact, but at the end of the day, just the solid rotations and teamwork coming out from Team Leviathan was able to make it happen. Once again, my name is Lyrical Dota, joined today by Winter. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Again, thank you. That was an exciting first game. Throws here and there, but it was really exciting. A lot of action. But like you
Absolutely.
mentioned, even though they have the Doom, but they just made the mistakes that cost them the game. Though they were in a really good position, I felt, to close out the game if they just did everything correctly with the Doom. But unfortunately, they made a mistake and they paid for it. Let's hope they not do that this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to be able to see a little bit more, just solid execution. I feel like neither side really was completely and totally throwy. There were a few moments there where Leviathan was able to build off a really early lead because of the Tusk snowballing forward into a few static storms, which created a couple of problems. But overall, I feel like both teams played pretty well. Probably a couple of team fights that EWolves would have wanted to take back. Looking like it's going to be a very different game this time already. We have the Doom first time banned out with a Shadow Fiend and an Ember Spirit at first picks for the two teams. Any reason that you might end up seeing this type of draft come around? Is there anything in particular that's popping out at you right from the get-go?
Doom is quite normal though. I think most of the games you see the team on the second pick phase, they will just ban the Doom. It's not much to say about that. But for Shadowfiend, it's not something you see Shadowfiend being first pick on the Dire side. You mostly see it on the Radiant because Shadowfiend is much stronger on the Radiant. But he's still alright on the Dire side with the minus armor with the Roshan. But Shadowfiend isn't so strong on a Dire because it takes a longer distance to walk to the jungle to farm your camps and to stack them. That's why it's always being prioritized on the Radiant side because of that. A Shadowfiend on the Radiant side is you get much more net worth in the first 10 minutes because of that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it looks like he's going to be going up against a tough matchup. Certainly one that we've seen many times before, Queen of Pain up against the Shadow Fiend. I feel like it's kind of caught a fashion a little bit running the Earthshaker against this Shadow Fiend. For a while there in 6.84, and even going back as far as 6.83, honestly, when Shadow Fiend was, I mean, he's been popular pretty much throughout these past three patches, I want to say. We've been seeing Earthshaker as a constant companion there, but more often now being seen Dazzles and Winter Wyverns getting picked up. Is there any particular reason that you feel like those heroes have become more popular recently?
Um, they are just better in the lanes though because Shaker is more like roaming around. You try to help the off lane with a fissure to block the creep wave. You don't really offer so much in the laning phase. You just want to be able to stack with your time in the jungle, and you want to be able to maybe drop a fissure to save a team or get a kill. It's more useful on the defensive side. Like teams have been prioritizing right now on winning the lanes though. Earthshaker is not a hero that helps you win the lane. It's only like a defensive hero that helps you avoid like certain deaths, like maybe a Spirit Breaker diving in, you have the fissure to save your mid laner. That's why teams have been not prioritizing picking up Shaker so much nowadays. Everyone just wants to win their lanes. Like you see the Lich a lot as well lately because Lich is a lane winner. You help your lanes do a lot better at the start and you try to snowball from there.
Well, and certainly a hero that can allow you to do that, also being able to deny out that EXP, always really helpful. Well, we'll see if we end up seeing him this time around. The other bands coming out have been the Tusk, the Gyrocopter, the Dazzle, and the Broodmother. Just on point, there he is. Winter. It feels like you always talk about something, and then it just happens. You're like Oracle.
It helps versus the Shadowfiend. I mean, it's just one of the more useful supports now. Lich, Dazzle, Tusk, the Wyvern, Night Stalker support as well, Spirit Breaker. All these heroes are just much better at dealing with the heroes in the current meta. And Leviathan is going to go back for their Legion Commander. Maybe they're just going to go for the Wiz again. I won't be surprised since they actually done it the last game and was pretty successful for them.
Yeah,
And
certainly a
they do have the
break was
yeah, they do have the Wyvern on their side this time, so they don't really have to worry about the duel into co-embrace. Actually, in the last game, I don't think it even happened once. I don't recall the Wyvern actually using the embrace when the Legion caught out his teammate.
Yeah, that's a good point. It kind of is one of those things where you definitely have to be in position to be able to make it happen, and it goes so quickly. Legion with the blink dagger able to jump on in and be able to make that happen. And also, of course, when the relocates come in, if you're quick enough on the draw, you can just blink to where you want to go and then make the duel happen immediately. But I feel like also a lot of the time last game, Leviathan were able to really prioritize taking out the Winter Wyvern at the beginning of those fights, and then after the fact, that's when you felt like you got the relocate on in. Mirana going to be the pick. Very interesting. So this is going to be offlane Mirana probably then? Or potentially roaming?
I think roaming probably because they have a plan to actually. This is something like in the past where teams run Ember Spirit mid against Shadowfiend, and then you just take more points in the Searing Chains. And Searing Chains used to be much better in the old days, where you actually have the 2-second lockdown in level 1. That's why you see it a lot in the past. So you lock down the Shadowfiend and the Mirana just shoots the arrow from far. That's how they play the combo of Ember plus Mirana. This game, I'm not sure how they actually want to use it because the chains is not so good at setting up an arrow early, since it's just 1 second at level 1, unless you have to wait for level 2 chains. I just think that it's just more probably the Queen going mid against the Shadowfiend again. Like what happened the last game, Queen going mid. So Lich and Ember, maybe they're offlaners, and Mirana would be roaming around. Or Lich plus another hero on the offlane and Ember plus Mirana. But I feel like Ember needs a lot of attention in the laning phase there. That I would actually prefer the Ember to be lane with the Lich to secure his early game. But that's a classic Leviathan hero. That hero I actually know a lot from Jenkins. He plays that hero a lot.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. It's always cool to see a Pudge in the game. And with 2 skill shot heroes here, you kind of feel like somebody's going to be doing what they need to do, and a couple other people might be missing some shots. But I am very excited.
But what's the reason of the Pudge here this game? They just felt like they wanted more lockdown. I'm not sure about, but either that or he just feels really comfortable with Pudge. I know he likes to play Pudge on offlane, so their setup will be Legion safe lane with probably the Wyvern, Pudge offlane. He's gonna try and I remember him he always tries to hook creeps into trees or something like that to actually disrupt the creep equilibrium on the offlane. So we'll see how
I've seen that as well.
Yeah, we'll see how he actually runs the Pudge this game. But I'm not sure why he wants to run the Pudge here. I don't see a clear reason why he wants to run it. I just feel like he's just comfortable with the hero.
Well, I'm wondering also potentially here if we end up seeing something with a nice stun. I mean, we did already see the Earthshaker band out there. Maybe running a dual lane with Pudge and somebody else. I feel like you end up maybe taking like a Crystal Maiden or something in there with the lane. You get a Frostbite into a hook.
I think Bane is better. Sleep into hook. Bane is much stronger in a lane.
Okay. Yeah. That would make a lot of sense. And then the other thing as well is that the pure damage, just being able to tear through that Ember Spirit's Flame Guard. And obviously, Pudge did get those buffs as well to his Rot, where now at every single level, 27% move slow is very, very, it's noticeable. You're going to be able to really burn through somebody and keep them stuck in one spot. We'll see how they ends up building this, but I feel like it's one of those games where if Pudge gets off to a good start, he's going to be able to really disrupt the rest of the map. A lot of these heroes are relatively squishy.
Yep, I agree. Like the Pudge combo would be able to kill these 4 heroes unless the Ember has his Flame Guard up. So Wolves would go for another carry hero that would be able to do a lot of damage in the late game. He's gonna be able to actually be countered by the Legion in the early phase. The Legion is actually really good versus Slug in the early phase, where you duel him and you just focus the Slug. Because Slug is always very weak against heroes that can actually focus you down, like catch you out, isolate you, and just kill you. Because Slug is a very mobile hero. In team fights, he wants to get into the fight, and then maybe during the mid fights, he wants to hide to regen HP and then come back. He's like a poke and run hero. You want to poke and then go back, regen, and come back in again. So Legion Commander is a hero that doesn't allow Slug to do that. You catch him out, you focus him out, and you kill him at one go.
Yeah, it seems like it could be a very dangerous combination to go into, and I don't know. I feel like it comes down to a lot of positioning and being able to make sure that you're always...
I don't really feel it could be a good Slug game. I feel like Slug has a lot of problems this game because there's a lot of AoE from Shadowfiend. Like Slug is weak against 2 things. Lockdown plus AoE. If he gets locked down and he gets hit by AoE stuff, that he's just gonna die in team fights. So we'll see how they actually build. I think the item selection of the Slug is really important for him to be able to survive.
And Skywrath Mage is going to be the other pick here, picked up by Newsham. So a lot of potential here to tear people apart.
This was the combo I was talking about the last game, where when you duel, you want to have instant damage coming out. The last game they didn't do this, but this game they're actually going to have the Legion plus the Skywrath ultimate combination. It's not only that though, it's also good synergy with the Pudge, because you can help the Pudge get a kill as well. And it's very low cooldown ultimate for the Mystic Flare. I think it depends though. Both of the selections are quite good for Skywrath. If you go for the Tranks, you probably have like 1 or 2 extra nulls to actually help you with your mana consumption. Like if you want to go, I think if you want to go Arcanes, it's probably because you're having a really good start that you are able to save 900 gold. Because usually at Skywrath, you have to buy wards, you have to run around, you don't really get a lot of farm. You get your gold from killing heroes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he's going to be able to do that. It certainly seems like there's going to be a timing window here where maybe, do you feel like Pudge is one of those heroes that's going to try and rotate around and really make action happen around the whole course of the map once he gets 6, or does he sort of have the ability to sit in this lane and do enough damage as a solo offlaner?
Nah, I think he just wants to get his experience and roam around. You play Pudge like clockwork. You get your levels, you run around, and you try to make space for a team. Because Legion, Commander, and SF are the heroes that require more farm. And Pudge doesn't really need farm, you just need level, so you're gonna be creating space for a team. So this time around we see EWolves actually running into place a deep ward. So I'm guessing their lane would be Lich plus... who's actually gonna go up here? Queen? No, Queen is safe lane.
The
so
Mirana has an Orb of Venom.
Lich plus Ember seems like he's going mid because of his items.
Yeah.
I guess with the Queen top, Lich plus Queen.
Interesting, very interesting. I'm not exactly sure. It seems very strange. The Orb of Venom pickup on the Mirana as well.
The Orb of Venom is because he's roaming, so he just wants to have that slow to be able to help set up kills, you know. Sometimes you just need that extra little bit of damage and slow to actually get the killing blow. But it's going to be interesting. They're going to smoke up right now. Lich hasn't skilled up anything, so it's a sign that he might want to use his first ability point into the Frost Blast to secure a kill. Yep, he's going to do that. So let's see whether the arrow hits. They should have chains on the Ember as well to set up this.
All right, here we go. Jumping forward. Are they going to be able to make it happen? Oh, a little bit of danger. Frostnova out. There's the arrow. It ends up hitting onto the Shadow Fiend, and he is going to fall. First Blood coming out. Oh, able to dodge away from the right click from the tower. Smash is going to end up falling, though. So Skywrath Mage gets that kill. First Blood going the way of the Skywrath Mage as well. So that's actually... Oh, wait, no, of the Ember Spirit. Thank goodness. That would have been really unfortunate.
Yeah, he was just unable to survive that after tanking so much tower. He almost survived with the Pomanshu though. It was gonna be really close there, but at the end of the day, they got 2 kills, so I guess they're fine with that. And it's first blood as well.
Oh goodness gracious! Yet again able to hit.
Whoa, that was
God,
way too
kills.
cocky. He was way too cocky on the SF there. He didn't respect the fact that they could have just changed plus arrow him, and he was like half HP. That was an easy kill there.
That is really too bad because his TP is going to be on cooldown now, so he has to walk all the way back to lane.
Yeah, so actually the idea of them having the Mirana is because, like I mentioned, they wanted to do, it's a very old school thing. Have the Ember go mid, you have 2 points in chains and use the chains to set up the arrow.
Looks like they might be able to get it again. Silence coming out, thankfully going to keep him alive, but how much longer dodging the arrow? That would have been absolutely devastating. We do also have up here the Winter Wyvern being able to right-click down the Mirana a little bit. That Arctic Burn is very, very frustrating to go against. And I'm going to get out of here, but this Mirana already making her presence felt very, very
bottom lane.
Done.
Oh. Pudge almost got the hook onto the slug. They were man fighting.
This is this is going to be the most ridiculous game ever, honestly. You've got arrows coming in from all over the place. Pudge at any given point in time is just going to be able to kill anybody.
Yeah.
And then in the mid lane, you've just got this Shadow Fiend who keeps on getting out a little bit.
I think mid lane should be the most possible place that you see a lot of kills because of the chains plus arrow. I think top lane is pretty much secured for the Wolves because Lich is going to win one lane for you automatically because of how the hero works. So they're going to shut down a lot of the Legion Commander's farm and experience. And bottom lane Slug versus Pudge, I think because Pudge started out with boots, so the lane is going to be very favorable for the Slug as well. So all the lanes are looking really good for EWolves this time.
I like also here as well that on the Ember Spirit you sit with 2 value points in Searing Chains. It gets the duration up to 2, and then afterwards going for those points in Flame Guard. It's going to be really important to deal with the Shadow Fiend raises as he gets more levels, just to be able to sort of tank through that extra damage and make sure you don't end up getting killed. This slip top lane is getting a little bit messy as well. We're going to have the Queen of Pain take a little bit of extra harassment from Shibby. I'm just going to have to blink away, but very, very intense start. 4 kills at 3 minutes already at this early stages of the game, and Last Hit to Denies not really being able to tell the whole story, but Slark's been able to get a decent start.
Bottom lane, they want to go for the arrow with the pounce. Oh, he's not going to connect with the pounce though, but they might be able to chase him down with the arrow here.
Getting good. Oh, able to block the way out as well. Nicely done. Taking some damage from the creeps off to the side. Not able to hit the Dark Pact enough damage. And the creeps saving Pudge's life after blocking him in a little bit with the Slark and the Mirana.
The pounce not connecting there cost them that kill. They needed the pounce to connect earlier so that they can have an easy setup for the arrow. But right now, because the Mirana has been roaming around, Ember is going to have a very tough time against Shadow Fiend. They just need to rely on the arrow to be able to help the Ember. So with the Mirana not around, Ember is not going to be able to get a lot of farm in the lane. So that is something that EWolves have to address soon. Oh, we see a hook.
There we go. Is it going to be able to do enough, though? Doesn't quite look like it. Nice arrow catching him out, and one last right click from the Skywrath Mage is going to be enough. Meanwhile, again, a Dark Pact going to be able to keep a little bit of extra harassment on Anusham. Does he have enough to get the kill here? Oh, nice hook, keeping alive the Skywrath Mage, and this might be the death of the Slark, honestly. Wants to be able to get another kill, does get it off on the Pudge, and meanwhile, up in the top lane as well, Winter Wyvern able to take down the Lich. All across the board, kills happening fast and furious, but that one coming out, I feel like a little bit more into the favor of Leviathan, after killing the safe lane carry there. In mid lane, yet again, Shadow Fiend ends up dropping to combination of the Mirana and the Ember Spirit. This game, Winter, what is even going on here?
Kills everywhere. They're just playing very aggressive in the early laning phase. But I didn't expect the top lane to actually be going so well for Leviathan because of the Lich going down there. So it's gonna actually, because when you pick Lich, you have to win your lane. If you don't win the lane as that hero, the hero doesn't do a lot later into the game. He's like a Viper or Razor, it's very one-dimensional. You pick the hero to dominate the lane. So when you give up kills like this, you're giving up a lot of experience because of the sacrifice.
Right, definitely. It's always difficult to lane up against that Lich there, and it looks like Shadow Fiend's continuing to just be harassed over and over again. He TP'd back in the lane, ate an arrow almost immediately. Looks like Smash wants to be able to hit another one off here. The arrow is going to connect onto him, but with the Skywrath Mage, it's going to keep the Ember Spirit off of his back at least for a second.
He even goes for a third point in chains. He didn't go for the second point in the Flame Guard like you talked about earlier. Because level 2 and level 3, the damage goes up double, 120 to 240. So the third point in Searing Chains is a lot of value.
Interesting. We'll see how he's able to deal with these raises being tossed on out here, because I feel like that is the one downside to this build, because it makes you a little bit more...
His lane is over anyways. He's not going to be able to farm. He can only just rely on the Mirana helping him get a kill on the SF. In the lane, he's not going to get too much.
Yeah. Pudge rotating on in now, does end up spying him out. No level 6 quite yet from the Pudge, but the silence is going to be able to do enough along with the hook. Is it going to be able to catch the kill? Oh, nice job. A little bit of separation. The Mirana is able to create that, and Pudge falls to the Ember Spirit. Meanwhile, the Mirana is just able to walk away.
Yeah, that's going to give the Ember Spirit very close to his level 6. Oh no, here we go. Van pouncing in.
Level 6, he's going to be able to get this kill on the Skywrath and probably make his way out of there as well. The AoE damage not quite being there in time, and meanwhile the Queen of Pain just going to jump away. So many rotations right now from EWolves, able to make their presence felt, and if you take a look, 800 gold swing as well as 500 EXP, and really, really good.
Yeah, both teams understand that they need to secure the early game. Like both of their lineups are very snowball type. You want to get a good start and you keep rolling from there. So they're just TPing in their carries to even just try to win an early skirmish. And here we go. Ember's gonna try and chains again.
Next, Pounce hitting as well. This is going to be another dead Shadow Fiend. This is not the start that you wanted all of your Shadow Fiend. 0-4 with 35 last hits. Mirana killing you off over and over again. Goodness gracious, he really needs to be able to go back on in with the and catch back up in the jungle, but there's not a ton of stacks. There's the one on the hard camp and one more on the medium camp. I don't know. What do you think they need to be doing right now for Leviathan?
Like you mentioned, go into the jungle with the SF and just maybe give a support the lane, because SF can't really stay in the lane and their supports are not really allowing the SF to survive. They don't really have a defensive support that can actually survive because Cold Embrace is not going to save you if you get hit by that combo. It's all spell damage. So maybe you can sit the Pudge behind in case you get chains. You can hook the SF out. I guess that's your best bet of saving the SF.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit scary, and I guess the other option there is maybe being able to hook him on in once you get 6 and then just bite down the Ember Spirit and hopefully being able to burst him out.
Nah,
but
it's tough though because he can always instantly cast the chains or use his slide or jump to his remnant. It's very difficult to hook. You can hook the Ember, but you can't get your combo on the Ember easily.
Definitely. Well, we'll see how it goes. Net worth wise, we're taking a look at a 3,000 gold lead as well as EXP of about 2,000 roughly.
Arrow again.
Oh
Man.
god, another one bites the dust. Jumping forward is going to be able to toss on out a little bit more damage, but with not enough there. Oh my god, the Chain Frost is real, and now Flying Zebra is looking to fall as well. Lich coming in at the perfect time, level 6. Oh my goodness, that is very frustrating indeed. Up top lane, we are going to get the duel down on top of the Queen of Pain. Should be trying to get as much damage as he can, but the blink away immediately is going to be perfectly fine with that one. And on top of that, you also have the ulti coming out from Mirana, keeping you oh so very safe.
He wants to go back in.
Mention,
he wants to go back in.
we do have over here the Remnant. Triple jump forward is going to be able to be enough to kill. Oh, EWolves smash, making it happen.
Yeah, so right now, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
That's all good. I was going to mention the Mirana, considering she's been able to have pretty reliable setup for her arrow, has gone for 3 points in that, which means that the Starstorm follow-up isn't as potent as you would normally see it. So really, I feel like to those kills on the Shadow Fiend continuously, they're going to need to make really good use of the right clicks as well as the extra damage from the Ember. Ooh, arrow almost hitting Jenkins down, but not going to end up happening there.
I don't even think he needs to skill Starstorm. Some players, when they play support Mirana, they just go for arrow and leap, like maybe 2 points in leap first. Then after that, maybe at level 7, after level 7, maybe at level 8, you start to get skill points on Starstorm. Because early game, you just want to leap and arrow, that's about it, and cast your ultimate.
Yeah. Seems reasonable. Bottom lane, we are going to be getting another rune bounty one up for him. Up here top, we're going to have a DD rune that's going to be up for Smash on this Ember Spirit. This game is certainly looking to be very much in the favor of Elite Wolves, with the Slark starting to be able to come online relatively soon as well. Do you feel like Shadowblade is pretty much the item here for him, or something else like a Blink potentially?
Shadowblade is fine though. I think Shadowblade could be good because it's gonna allow him to, like, Blink is like, it's also good for him to initiate onto the Wyvern, but to retain some carry abilities, because Shadowblade helps you farm with like damage and attack speed. It's much more, you are much more of a carry though with Shadowblade.
Okay. Lich looks to be building into a mechanism himself. He's been able to get a good amount in this off lane here. After the early rotations to mid, he's pretty much gotten whatever he's wanted. So I think that all in all, each of these lanes, I really do feel like has been won to a large extent by these teams. The one play that ended up coming out that was solid was Jenkins being able to pull the Slark on under the tower, but it still really wasn't that huge. And now, you know, potentially remedy this, we are going to have the Slark immediately jumping in on top of Jenkins here. Hits the pounce. We have a heck of a lot of damage off to the side, and did get the deny. Nicely done there. Skywrath Mage getting chased after a little bit here as well. We are going to be able to hit the Chain Frosts on top of him. Is there enough damage? Slark might end up falling. Whew, thankfully just able to get out of there. That is definitely deadly, though. Ember Spirit in the middle of all of them should be able to get off the Purge as well, so he's creating that extra little bit of separation he needs. Smash is still chasing. We have another arrow, which is going to end up hitting the TP. No, not quite there. Chains, as there's the Winter's Curse coming out, though. This is the turnaround that they need, and the dual victory as well. That is something they desperately needed, and now looking for a little bit more. Pudges here with the hook, not quite hitting.
That was just overcommitment from Elite Wolves. They just dived too deep for that secondary kill because they were you could see they were very upset about the Pudge denying himself, and they really wanted to get a kill.
Looks like we might have another problem over here as well.
You know what? That's why you can't make, if you make decisions based on your emotions, you're always gonna make the wrong decisions.
Yeah, man. You guys remain calm, collected, cool.
You have to always be logical and rational. But as a player, it's sometimes hard to, control your feelings when you get upset about something like that happening.
It's always so nice to hear you talk about this, because like being a person that actually plays professionally, it's somewhat there's a disconnect in terms of being able to understand the mentality of a player. Like I know how I would feel, but it's good to hear that these other pro players suffer from the same problems of being pissed off occasionally at
We
the
are
enemy team.
all humans.
Absolutely. Well, Van coming on in with the smoke now as well. Does have his ultimate backup, level 10, ready to jump on over and see if they can find anybody in the jungle. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to catch anybody over by the hard camp, but might be able to find the Legion as well as the Quap. Oh, this could
They
be a
need to
little
get
bit
the
scary.
silence. They need to get the silence first, I guess. Not gonna get it.
Oh, and they might be turning back around on top of this. We got 4
You know,
heroes up
he
here.
doesn't want to die now. He just got his dagger money. Oh, he gets the dagger.
Jeez, arrow. Mirana ends up getting the kill there with the arrow at the end. Hook back in. Nicely done. This is going to be a very dead Mirana. Ends up getting killed there. And it looks like the Quap is going to try and create a little bit of extra jumping forward. Slark ends up getting the kill there with the Lich also. And that's going to be a dead Scarith, I believe. Yes. So 2 kills, 3 kills for 1 at the end of the whole engagement. And what could have potentially just been a Quap pickoff ends up getting a kill on the Legion Commander, who thankfully did pick up the Blink Dagger before he died.
Yeah, he got the last creep before he got jumped by the Slug. And Slug, by the way, he went for the dagger as well. I was talking about Shadowblade being like the carry build, but because this game they have Ember and Queen of Pain, Slug is not the only carry in this game, so you can afford to go for more utility-based items to allow you to initiate. Oh no, Shadowfiend!
Yeah, he ended up getting picked up by the Slark. It was a really solid play, jumping
arrow.
back and forth.
They got the arrow.
God. Shibby, you're in a little bit of trouble now. They're going to try and see if they can make something happen here, but I don't think they have enough damage to take him down quite yet. But you saw there that Ember Spirit was able to sleight of fist away the damage from the Requiem of Souls that came out. So really, really solid play. And I will say the Queen of Pain is getting very bold up here in the top lane. Almost dead, 73 HP, and just hanging out currently. But it's going to back on out now before she ends up getting killed. So a lot of very aggressive play we've seen. Oh god, are they going to be able to make this happen? Able to get off the ulti. Thankfully the Mirana should be able to get away from this one, I believe, leaping up and just actually no leap here. She wants to try and deny herself. It looks like Jenkins knows this is going on, tried to go for the hook, isn't going to be able to make it happen, and she should be fine now. So nobody dies in that little engagement.
Yep. I think, yep. Mirana should be able to scoot out. Maybe not.
Oh god, she's getting greedy again. All of these heroes, they're just hanging out, gonna throw out another little arrow. Isn't gonna hit onto the Skywrath, but this might off Jenkins the fact that there's still somebody hanging around here.
And look at how Smash is actually skilling his Ember as well. He's playing the Ember more of like initiating. He just wants to have Slide plus Chains all the time. He's playing the initiating role on Ember. The spell casting Ember. Focusing on just locking down and securing the fight for your team.
Oh god, Shibby, ooh, nice blink away. It was very close to becoming a disaster, but thankfully able to make their way out of there. It still feels like EWolves are in the control of this game, but they're not quite. I mean, that's what we said the last time around as well, and a couple of key decisions ended up costing them that lead that they had here. I do feel like Leviathan are starting to create a little bit of a foothold though, and they're starting to win fights top lane. Bottom lane, excuse me. Jenkins taking a good amount of damage here. The pounce does end up connecting. This should be a kill on top of the Pudge. Is he going to be able to get away though? Another deny! TP back up in 1 second. This is going to end up being a Slark that Skywrath Mage ulti on top of him, and that is another kill for the Legion Commander. 20 duel victory at this point in time.
Well,
really nicely done. That was frustrating.
At least they got the tower, I guess. Pudge didn't get to deny the tower.
Thank goodness for that.
That's so sad.
Oh. These things occasionally happen throughout the course of the game of Dota 2. We're going to have the Shadow Fiend just continue to try and keep them off. Another arrow hits. How many arrows has he eaten today? It's so frustrating to play against Mirana when she ends up hitting those. Winter's Curse down on top of Smash. This might be the turnaround that they need. Able to remnant away. Nicely done. Was close to getting a kill there. Now the Lich soaking up a little bit of the extra damage. Another Chains not quite able to hit there. Scream of Pain out as well. Another arrow hits onto Nusham. Oh god, is he going to go for it really? No, doesn't want to end up making that happen. Sleight of Fist out as well as Chains again. Goodness gracious, both teams flirting with danger and greatness here respectively. Ooh, dodging away, but the hook wouldn't have hit him anyways, and Smash just gonna run away from them this time around.
Yeah, the Lich really wanted to drop his ultimate there because he saw the opportunity. Everyone was like really clumped up there, but he got silenced by the Skywrath.
So frustrating. Headdress recipe on the Lich. He's still trying to build into that mechanism, but not really incredibly close to picking it up. About
He still
7,000 gold lead.
He still doesn't have frost armor though. It's really good versus SF and Legion. Like I don't think that you need to max frost blast on this hero. Like frost armor is very strong. The ice armor.
Yeah. Well, it certainly could really help out a lot. Particularly, I feel like, as you mentioned, that Legion commander in the middle of a duel or anywhere else, or honestly even just on towers on occasion. I mean, they haven't had any of their towers pushed down quite yet, but it does seem like it'd be able to do a lot in these team fights in terms of slowing down that attack speed.
They didn't bring wards. Like usually when you see the more experienced teams, when they do a smoke movement like that, they always bring a ward into the jungle, so you don't waste the smoke. But they're still gonna get the kill. Another arrow.
Oh God!
Oh my God! Arrow number 999.
Pretty much. That's what it's been seeming like here over and over again. He's still top of the net worth though. Shadowfiend currently just under 7,000 gold, and if you compare that, I mean, right now he is what, 2-7-2. That's ridiculous. That shows the power of this hero, honestly. And
Could
what
have been
people like to pick up.
Could have been 10,000 net worth.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the tower ends up going down. Pudge is still skulking around the mid lane, waiting to see if he can find somebody and find that solid initiation. But honestly, he hooks any of these heroes, he's just going to die. Looks like they might be content to trade this at this point in time. Leviathan just going to push this on out here.
Yeah, Slug is going back for Midas, it seems.
Interesting.
Securing the late game.
Yeah, why not? Gonna be able to make sure that it happens. They're already far enough ahead in terms of all of the spells they've got. The magical damage that comes out from Dark Pact is actually pretty significant in all of these stages of the game. And I think that it definitely makes sense to be able to secure, as you said, those items. Because if these pickoffs stop happening at any given point in time, all of a sudden your Slark becomes significantly less useful at being able to accelerate in items.
Yeah, and because he went for the Blink as well instead of the Shadow Blade, he needs something to help him farm faster as well. So the Midas, I think it's a very good pickup here. Like you see it a lot from even the Viper players. When you pick up the mech first, you push towers, and then after you take all the towers, you go back for a Midas. I think it's the same situation for the Slug here, or even on the Slardar. When you see players they go dagger first and they have a good time, and they go back for a Midas.
Yeah. Looks like there might be another initiation here. Be a little bit careful. The hook came close to taking somebody out. We are going to get the long-range initiation with the chains. Lich thought about the ulti. Doesn't want to go for it at this point in time, though. The chains into the Lich ulti, by the way, is also pretty disgusting. They're able to get that one off, which would be just a whole heck of a lot of damage coming out very quickly.
If you get the chains on 2 heroes, yes.
Exactly. That's the dream.
That is obviously the dream. Get a chains on 2 heroes, then the Queen of Pain Sonic Waves, everything dies there.
That's what we got to do. That's the play here. Well, EWolves still hanging out and around this area. The Sonic Wave is up if they do want to use it. Orchid is up for the Queen of Pain as well. I feel like they're just waiting for that little bit of separation and one hero to just show themselves up top here. And then they're going to jump forward. Unfortunately, Pudge is going to be the one that she runs into. There is the silence. Keep him alive a little bit longer. Oh my god, Jenkins is actually going to fall here. Shadowfiend, meanwhile, just going to be able to try and right-click heroes down as much as possible. Scareth Mage, the silence is going to be able to connect, as well as the Mystic Flare. Queen of Pain dies, but the Lich is able to TP out.
Yeah, I think the other thing we didn't really talk about as well is the Shadowfiend. Why is he actually still on top of network? Because he went for the Helm of Dawn to help him farm a lot. Like usually you see the mech coming up from Shadowfiend a lot. Most of the time when teams pick the hero up. But this game, because he went for the Helm and he's able to keep his net worth up.
Yeah, well, and I can't believe that this hero right now is 2-7. Like you mentioned it, he could have been 10k net worth, but the fact that he's been able to stay that farmed is really saying something about you know the ability to keep this game going.
It is like securing his late game as well, going this item, because he knows he's really far behind, and he just wants to, no matter what happens, he needs to catch up. So he just goes for like one of the greedier options that he has as an SF to keep farming and keep trying to retain his net worth that he lost in the laning phase.
Interestingly here, the Lich also ended up going for 2 points in ice armor as opposed to taking a 2nd level in the ultimate.
No, he has the 2nd point in ultimate now.
He does? Oh, never mind. He must have just been held in it back. Never mind me, ladies and gentlemen. So he has the 2 points in ice armor nonetheless, as opposed to taking the 4th in sacrifice.
I don't think you really need to max it. When I play Lich as well, I keep it at 3 points. 3 points is really sufficient for your mana.
Yeah.
Then you max the ice armor after. Oh, here we go. Slug, being able
Man.
to do slug things. You see someone, you jump, you use your ulti, you jump out. No one can catch you.
He also had the haster in there. It was really close to getting caught by Legion Commander, but thankfully didn't end up happening. Syrian Chain's not going to be expended that time around, and with 5 heroes moving towards the mid lane, it looks like Leviathan are going to opt to spread out again. Do you feel like they really are going to be able to sort of fight this lineup of Elite Wolves head on, or do Leviathan need to just find those pickoffs and win the Legion Commander duel victories?
If you talk about head-on fights, it's much more difficult for them. I mean, they still have the tools with the Curse and the Shadowfiend Ultimate. So, but it's just much more difficult in this stage of the game, where Elite Wolves are having a lead. So I think right now they just want to buy time again, and just try to get more items on their heroes before they try to initiate. I think when you get the BKB on Legion Commander, that's when you try to take a fight. That's your next timing. Because when he has BKB, then he doesn't have to worry about the Orchid from the Queen, then he can just initiate. Mid lane,
Top lane,
arrow.
mid lane. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out very quickly. BKB and then jumping away, so able to expend the Requiem.
Worth.
Yeah,
BKB
definitely.
force, Requiem pop, so now they try to go for objective. They just expanded a Sonic Wave for that, so I think it's much better for them. Without the BKB, the Shadowfiend shouldn't be able to fight.
Okay. We'll be very curious to see how this goes. Will he eat another arrow? That's really the question that's on everybody's mind. Oh
wait.
God, Slark ends up connecting with the Blink Dagger forward as well. Very nicely done. The vision from this ward making all the difference in the world there. I think that was what actually ended up spotting him out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And he didn't even have to blink, he was in the trees, he just jumped, he just pounced out from the trees.
Oh jeez, that is terrifying. Well, Queen of Pain working next on her Aghanim Scepter. Speaking of big team fight ultis and the fact that you're going to be able to just sort of run on through this team here. The Mechanism is up on the Lich. Everything seems to be in pretty good order at this point in time. Ember Spirit is going to be building towards that Battle Fury. Do you think that they wait for that before they end up trying to fight again?
I think Wolves can fight whenever they want. If they feel like they get a good initiation, they can actually just fight. They don't really have to wait for the Battle Fury. We haven't really seen too many like really good initiations from the Pudge though this game. It's very hard for the Pudge to hold all these mobile heroes. The Leap, the Blink from the Queen, the Ember Spirit, the Slug, all the heroes are just very hard to catch as a Pudge. Tough game for Pudge.
Very tough game for Pudge. You mentioned it early in the draft. There's the jump forward, able to hit the hook, but immediately back yet again. Flying Zebra is going to end up flying to the Slark. And Mirana was the one that ended up getting the kill on the Winter Wyvern. Another one of those absolutely gorgeous arrows that we've been seeing all game long. We do have the Pudge hooking on back the Shadow Fiend. Come on over here, buddy. I'll take care of you. And the Legion Commander does pick up the BKB as well.
You know the Pudge, I think he's gonna be an Earth Spirit this game. Just pull your teammate when you get Searing Chain's arrow. I don't see him being able to do any initiations very well against those heroes. I think he's just his job right now in this game is gonna be very defensive, like very passive, and he can't really be too aggressive on a hero because it's very difficult for him to lock those heroes down. Sad life of a Pudge against this hero.
It's a rough life. It's the life that they chose though.
Yeah, I guess they picked the Pudge into this lineup, so
yeah.
they probably felt like they could have done it. I mean, he's the drafter though, so he should know better.
Well, he's been able to make a pretty good impact. I mean, he probably did the best out of the lanes as far as they went. Partially just because of how well the Mirana roaming was able to make things happen.
The issue is, I feel like the game, he didn't really change. Like, I think the game would have been in the same state if they would have picked the Clockwork or something else. Like the Pudge didn't really change too much in the game. Maybe the Clockwork pick or something else would have been better because you actually offer more for a team. So far, I don't really see a specific situation where the Pudge has been offering more compared to any other typical offlaners that we are seeing.
Well, here comes the Invis coming on out from the Mirana. They do end up spotting this. Oh god, the smoke is broken. Jenkins gets hit by the arrow. The rest of the team is here though. There's the Slark jumping forward into the middle of all of them. Eats a raise. Another couple of hits are going to be able to keep him down. The Lich gets the last kill there as well with his Q. Looking for a little bit more. We do have the long range initiation in just a couple of seconds with the Searing Chains up. They're able to hit somebody. Do end up connecting. No, not the Winter Wyvern. The Winter Wyvern gets away. Another TP away off to the side. That was the Legion Commander making her way out of there. So at the end of the day, the big thing that you end up getting out of this was the ward that just got taken out as well. So a little bit unfortunate with that smoke used.
They didn't bring sentries, or dust against Mirana. I mean, they have it on the Wyvern, but they didn't have it on the first guy leading the charge. I think when someone leads the way, the first guy needs to have detection if you're running into a Mirana, instead of the Wyvern, which was sitting behind. So that was quite awkward for them.
Well, it seemed like they kind of knew what was happening also. The EWolves, they popped the Mirana ulti, they walked on over to the side there. Maybe because there wasn't anybody showing in lane, they kind of had a feeling that there was going to be some type of smoke coming in through their jungle.
Yeah, because it was a 5-man smoke. 5-man smoke is always very obvious. That's why when you see the better teams play or the more experienced teams play, you rarely see a 5-man smoke rotation. It's always going to be maybe 3-man or like even 4-man smokes can be very obvious. Like usually they show one hero top, one hero mid, and then 3 heroes missing running into the opponent's jungle. They try to place a ward, they try to make a play. Even if they don't get the gank, they place a deep ward. You see out of that play that Leviathan made, they smoked 5 heroes into the enemy jungle. They didn't even get any wards down. If you don't get a kill, at least you get vision down.
Yeah, the vision definitely is a big detriment at this point in time for Leviathan. They're playing fairly in the dark, and considering they're so far, well, I don't want to say so far behind. They're relatively far behind. You take a look, 14k net worth. Yeah, they're so far behind. And in terms of EXP as well, it's about 11k. So it's a really difficult situation. You really feel like they need to be getting something out of these smokes, and maybe they find a pick off. Right now, EWolves are pushing down this tier 2 tower, and pretty soon after that, you have to imagine Roche is going to be coming as well.
Yeah. Very systematic. Take all your towers, take the Roche, then high ground. Yes. And then when it comes to high ground, then you can talk about the dangers of pushing against the Pudge, because that's when the Pudge, I think that's where he really shines, high ground defense.
What are you thinking is the key component there? Just being able to hook somebody in and keep them locked down, essentially taking somebody out of the fight?
If you look at their heroes, no one has BKB, right? So you can actually hook into the Skyrap silence, instant silence, then you kill someone. I could see that happening for them, because no one actually has BKB or Mentor. So yeah.
Interesting. I do wonder if that's going to end up coming back to hurt them a little bit. The fact that Ember Spirit ended up going for this, oh god, the counter initiation. They knew that something was coming, and now they might end up catching on out. The Shadow King here chains onto one of them. He needs to run away. BKB is popped, and now the stun isn't going to end up connect because of the BKB. Now trying to create a little bit more jump in here if they want to. Van needs to get out of here before they end up getting caught. The rest of the team is caught up now. Sonic Wave on top of 2. Winter Wyvern ends up dying. This might embolden them to be able to take the rest of this fight. There's the pounce onto the... Oh, nice hook! Being able to keep alive the Shadow Fiend. It does look like he might end up dying. The Mirana arrow is too good. Jenkins is getting chased down as well, and Van ends up getting that kill. A couple of very, very important kills here, and now ready to jump forward yet again. Ember Spirit is just not afraid. He does get silenced. Jump forward again by Van. The Mystic Flare is down, but this is going to be a full team wipe. Buybacks, do we have any of them? Only the Legion Commander. Oh my goodness, that was a really, really well executed fight. 19 stacks of Agi right now on the Slark.
They have 3 buybacks. Shadow Fiend, Legion, and Skyrap.
Oh, okay. Alright, back on up, ready. You feel like they have to make use of these at this point in time? It kind of feels like if they don't, they're going to get double racks probably.
I think the game is more or less already almost over for them. They have to try and hold a defense.
We'll see. Roshan forgotten at this point in time. Tier 3 is starting to fall as well. Maybe they've got one last big initiation in them. The BKB is going to be back up again for the Shadow Fiend, obviously, in this next engagement. Waiting for the option to hook, but Jenkins is just taking so much damage and did get stunned as well by that arrow. So after the melee barracks, they're going to back on out now. Already taking and having an initiation point into the high ground. Maybe they'll be content for Roshan and then go back in for a second round here.
Yeah, Roche is at half, and they managed to remove all the vision as well because they have a gem on the slug. So Leviathan are pretty much playing in the dark, and Sonic Wave 20 seconds, so they can just fight anytime they want.
Alright, well here is the vision that they might potentially need. We do see that there's a lot of vision in the area for the Radiant. They're ready to go forward into this if they want. Oh, don't quite hit the chains. We do also have the arrow coming out. Is it going to connect? Right before it ended up hitting onto that Winter Wyvern, it expires. definitely a little bit scary. Down here off to the side as well, we have the Queen of Pain, not really in position to be able to help out her teammates. The hook could have been really good, not able to hit onto anybody. Unfortunately, there's the jump forward. This Shadow Fiend does end up getting off the Requiem. BKB is popped as well. The Sonic Wave is going to take him out, though. There's the duel on top of the Mirana. She's going to end up surviving. No, does go down in the end. The Legion Commander able to take her out, and now the Winter Wyvern looks to be able to get out of there as well. There's the Slark take down the Legion Commander. GG, well played, ends up getting called, and it looks like we're going to be getting to a Game 3 in just a second here.
Touch didn't work out.
Well, one of those things that occasionally happens. All right, well, we're going to be heading into Game 3 in just a second. Winter, any final thoughts about this game here?
Well, I like the Ember plus Mirana. It's something that we don't see for a long time already. It's a very interesting combination, and it actually worked out so well for them this game because they were able to use the combination to secure so many kills on our SF player this game.